voice still made those noises, I would have said, "Are you ready to rock?" And it would have sounded a lot cooler. But apparently, voice doesn't do that anymore. Here's looking interesting. So, I kind of want to start, but I kind of want to wait because I want to see. I want there to be some other people that are here. Hang on a second. So we will send some messages out to those who matter. Let's see. We'll try this broad, even though she doesn't usually show up. And we'll send one to good old Leah Bia. Leah Bia, why you running like a punk, like a punk? Leah Bia. Kelly and Carrie. I don't think you guys are ready for this one. Oh, and Karen. Let's do Karen here. Let's see. Anyone else? I guess we'll send one to Argo as well. Seriously. That should be it. Most of the people I even send messages, they don't even see my messages anymore. So it doesn't even fucking matter. Let's send one to Jim Brown. I haven't seen Jim Brown in a long time on here. We'll send one to Thaddeus. Let's send one to Guy. We'll send one to Guy and see what Guy has to say. All right, that's enough. All right. So, Hastening Redemption. Okay. Hastening Redemption, Messianism, and the resettlement of the land of Israel is a history of 19th century friar immigration to Palestine, published in 1985 by Israeli historian Ari Morgenstern. So, we aren't talking about friar immigration, right? We're talking about friar colonization. And it's not even like, it's not like I'm just using the wrong word or something. It's pretty well documented that the friars have been colonizing Palestine for much longer than people realize. And it wasn't like they were, it's not like they were trying to spread their influence around the world. Somehow they were already around the world. They were, and this 99.7% of them lived outside Palestine compared to 47% of them today, right? And so you have this story, this narrative. Again, it's not like Aliyah is for them to colonize somewhere else. It's not like there are all these stories of them colonizing somewhere else. Although there is the Oblast, the Russia, what is it? Let me just see here. Oblast. Jewish. The Jewish Autonomous Oblast is a federal subject of Russia in the far east of the country, bordering Khabrovsk Kare and Amur Oblast in Russia, and Heilongjiang province in China. Its administrative center is the town of Bridizozan. This is their flag. Come on. You have to be kidding me. Their flag is the rainbow. And then this is their coat of arms, of course. Because, you know, you got to have some sort of kitty cat. Got to have a kitty cat. It was established May 7th, 1934. So that flag would have to be, you know, that's the precursor. There was no gay rights movement in 39 or 34. Isn't it interesting that you have the Havara Agreement of 1933, in which Hitler basically like paid for them to leave. Take all your stuff, get the fuck out of here. We'll pay for wherever you need to go. We'll pay for you to fly to Palestine. And at the same time, this oblast is opening up. So if you look, it's that red country. It's huge. Compared to Israel, it's huge. 14,000 square miles. It's ranked 61st in government, I guess. Population as of 2018, because that's the newest numbers we can find, I guess. 162,014. Wow, it's 70% urban, 30% rural. And it has 79 license plates. What? Why is that a thing? Official language is Russian. The JAO was designated by a Soviet official decree in 1928 and officially established in 1934. At its height in the late 40s, the Jewish population in the region peaked around 46,000 to 50,000, approximately 25% of its population. The Jewish Oblast is only 25% Jewish? That's weird. Since then, the share of Jews steadily declined, and according to a 2021 Russian census, there are only 837 ethnic Jews left in the JOA. This is the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. It's literally their own place where they don't have to be in the middle of the Middle East, and they don't have to be attacked by everyone because everyone in the Middle East is so mean to them. The recent, what the fuck that means? Article 65 of the Constitution of Russia, because, you know, everybody, even though we're all these individual countries and all that, there's not a worldwide system. Everyone still has a constitution. Because that makes sense, right? Provides that the JOA is Russia's only autonomous oblast. It is one of two officially Jewish jurisdictions in the world, the other being Israel. It is one of the few places in the world where Yiddish is recognized as a minority language. So, again, if they already had this place, why would they have needed to take Palestine? An autonomous oblast is a type of federal subject of the Russian Federation. A type of federal subject. Now I got to look up that. At least theoretically, an autonomous oblast has greater autonomy than other oblasts, but not as much as a republic. From 61 to 91, the Soviet Union had 5 autonomous oblasts: Agdile, Gornola, and the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. The first 4 were elevated to republics on July 3rd, 1991, during the dissolution of the Soviet Union, leaving only the Jewish Autonomous Oblast in independent Russia. Why? So what is a federal subject? The federal subjects of Russia, also referred to as the subjects of the Russian Federation, or simply the subjects of the Federation, are the constitute entities, now we have to look up constitute entities, of Russia, its top-level political divisions. According to the Constitution of Russia, the Federation consists of republics, Karas oblasts, cities of federal importance, and autonomous oblast, the only one, and autonomous okrugs, all of which are equal subjects of the Federation. So now we have to look up constitute entities. Administrative divisions, or constitute entities, as well as many similar generic terms, are geographical areas into which a particular independent sovereign state is divided. Such a unit usually has an administrative authority with the power to take administrative or policy decisions for its area. Administrative decisions are often used as polygons in geospatial analysis. You know what? I think I have changed my mind. I've been saying for a long time that in 2028, I'm going to give them what they want. And you know, not you say you can't be a friar and be in the United States. We're going to pay for you to go to Israel. You know what? That's not fair. That is not fair. The Palestinians don't deserve that. I used to say, you know, we'll bring the Palestinians here and put them up, and they can have a few generations if necessary to get back on their feet after what we've done to them. And there's still, that is still more than true, right? But considering that the friars already have their own place, you know, 2-3 times the size of Israel, where they you know, because you always hear like, we need a state of our own. We cannot have we cannot be a free people until we have a land of our own. The auto emancipation pamphlet, I always wondered what it meant, auto emancipation. Maybe it means autonomous emancipation. I kind of thought it was like automatic emancipation, but people are so dumb. Can you show the map again? It's right there. It's right at the bottom. Like, I bet it's actually pretty nice there. You know, I bet that region, you know, they might get snow, but I doubt they let's see, geography. The northern and western section of the oblast is mountainous, with the Lesser Khinga and the Buria Range, among others, at 1,421 meters, 4,662 feet. Mount Studenchachka, located in the Buria Range, is the highest point of the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. The southern and eastern section is part of the Amur Valley, with only a few small residential ridges. The territory has a monsoonal, anticyclonic climate with warm, wet, humid summers due to the influence of the East Asian monsoon, and cold, dry, windy conditions prevailing in the winter months, courtesy of the Siberian high-pressure system. So it's not snowing. Cold, dry, and windy. This is nuts. How many of you know about this? How many of you, I mean, think about just how much you've heard this narrative of their homeland and the land of their own and all that shit when they've had one since 1928. It goes to show you that their whole narrative is bullshit. Which, I mean, so does everything else. So does the Havara Agreement. So does the auto-emancipation. And all of the history regarding Aliyah and all that shit. It shows you that it's not nearly as much about feeling left out and having a home of their own as it is murdering the Palestinians. And like I've said before, I believe it to be a slow kill. They could have easily taken out Palestine decades ago. And by now it would have been forgotten. By now it would have just been another one of those sad stories. But I'm pretty sure they haven't done that. And I use the example of if you were a cow farmer and you wanted a hamburger, would you slaughter all of your cow to get one hamburger? What happens when you want a hamburger a year from now? You don't have any cows left. I mean, it's you can use whatever analogy you want, but they all fit. And so I believe that because of what I've learned about their ritualistic nature and their spilling of blood and just so much shit, I think it's all purposeful. And I mean, who knows what the kind of nasty your pillow looks. I know. Who knows what the actual factuals are behind why Palestine is so important? Because you could say biblical shit, but it's not biblical. Okay, so the annexation of the Amur region by Russia prior to 1858. See what I mean? You just don't understand how deep this narrative goes, because they present it to you as though it's this new story. I mean, don't you think it's strange that your entire life you've heard that the reason why the friars are so violent and horrible is because they just want a place of their own. They just want a land of their own.
They just want to colonize another country.
But they already had a place. Since 1928, they had this autonomous oblast that has warm, wet, tropical type summers and cool, dry winters. And, strategically, it's located in an area where, in between China and Russia, where, they're not going to be surrounded by those mean old Muslims. Those mean old Muslims. They're not going to be, it just doesn't make any sense. Well, it doesn't make sense the way it's presented, I should say. It does make sense. It does. It's awful. It's a horrible thing that it makes sense, that makes sense. But it's crazy. Prior to 1858, the area of which is today the Jewish Autonomous Oblast was ruled by a succession of Chinese imperial dynasties. I bet they were like, oh, fuck, you know what? I am so sick of our family having all of this land and power. How about we give it to the Jews? Why don't we give it to the Jews? Don't you think that's probably how that worked?
Oh, yeah.
I know that's what I would say. If some Jews showed up at my house and were like, hey, we used to live here, so You need to get out. I'd be like, okay. Sorry. I hope I kept it nice enough for you. Don't forget to take all my stuff. In 1858, the north bank of the Amur River, including the territory of today's Jewish Autonomous Oblast, was split away from the Qing, 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 Chinese territory of Manchuria and became incorporated into the Russian Empire pursuant to the Treaty of Aigun, Aigun, 58, and the Convention of Peking in 1860. I mean, I always just, whenever you hear about these things, you think, okay, so what was a convention in 1860 like? Convention of 1860. Signing of the treaty by Lord Elgin and Prince Gong. Yeah, say that. Somebody just drew a picture of it. Because they had all these, I mean, you just don't think about it. And they didn't think about it because building monumental structures and you know, castles and cathedrals and great walls and all this shit, inverted, you know, pyramids, the stepwells, you know, that whole city in China that's like just full of pyramids that are grown over, and they say, no, those are just natural hills. You know, they clearly were so, they were so capable of building and found it so easy that they accidentally left all the imagery in the paintings and shit, because they just didn't think like, well, of course, I mean, building buildings is nothing, so we don't need to hide the buildings from them. They'll be able to do the same thing within, you know, a couple of years or whatever. They probably can just do it. It's easy. Why don't they just do it? So you then end up looking back at the historical account that includes infrastructure and buildings and shit that you just, we can't do today. You know, it's just, it's so foolish. You know, wouldn't you spend twice as much money to build your house? If that in fact was the case, wouldn't you spend twice as much money to build your house out of something that will never fall apart?
Yes.
Wouldn't that make more sense?
It would. I mean, the problem is that a lot of people can't afford that initial cost, even though it saves them, you know, thousands in the life of the home.
No. We're not talking. We're on a different level here. I'm saying if the ability to build buildings like they used to be able to, cathedrals and castles and all that shit, even the skyscrapers of the late 18s, early 19s, you know, these buildings last forever. They need no maintenance. They somehow heat them and cool themselves, you know. Like these are structures that you'd be easily willing to pay 2-3 times the amount of the initial of say a comparable building made from today's material that is going to fall apart in a few years. It's going to need maintenance. What are they? The convention of people. Morning, Bubber.
Morning.
How y'all doing? You good? Everything good in your world? You sleep well? Did you wake up with a boner? What's wrong with you? Morning, buddy.
Any kisses?
And I see the last Friar, F-R-E-I-E-R, false flag. The one in Bondi Beach? Yeah. I think the best part is the racist propaganda pushing, you know, Zionist piece of shit who moved to Australia 2 weeks earlier to combat anti-Semitism. And then when he gets shot, his first instinct is to pull out his camera and take a selfie. not take not take pictures of what's going on, not turn on his video camera and just, film things for posterity. But this idea that he's laying on the ground, possibly bleeding to death for all he knows. It's chaos around him, and he's like, oh my God, I need to take a selfie. What? Oh, look, that dude, even get that modified rifle. Lots of weirdness. Yeah, I don't even think about that shit. The one where the guy is disarming him, that looks as fake as it gets. I always tell you guys, I always talk about the videos of Israelis, the random interviews of Israelis, and the guy that does a lot of it is Hamza Sadah. And this is an example of it.
Because I'm from Israel. I'm from Palestine. You, because I'm from Israel, and my brother's in the army, and we fuck them, ya sharmata. Fuck you, ya sharmata. Fuck you. What do you think about the kids being killed in Gaza? Is that good? I don't fucking care, bro. Is that good? Yes. Do you agree with killing Palestinian kids? Yes. I wish you get the cancer, ya sharmata. Do you want to kick me? Yes. You want to hurt me? Yes. Is it because I'm Palestinian? Yes. 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 I wish you get the cancer, ya ben. I'm from Palestine. You, because I'm from Israel.
And I mean, this guy has endless videos of the same thing, of just he talks to random Israelis, where they come on there and they be like, they're not Zionists. Don't you understand that it's not Zionists? The that's why we went in the direction we're in right now. That's why I need to get back to the thing I was initially talking about. I just got distracted by this oblast thing. But we need to be talking about how we're being duped by Zionism. We're duped into fighting the bad guy that doesn't exist. Zionism is just it's like you saying, I'm a ninja. It's like you saying, I'm a gang member. It's stupid. Faker than the Charlie Kirk shit. I mean, the Charlie Kirk shit was done very well. As far as holy shit execution, it really does still. I still think it's staged. I still think there's a lot of fuckery to it. But as far as creating a holy shit moment where the thing is actually filmed, because you never actually see the person get shot. Which, again, who's to say we did? I don't know. But, at least they had the decency to, show us something graphic and scary. However, literally every single thing that happened from the moment he was shot is like, what the fuck? Yeah, it just doesn't seem to fit. Whereas this thing, from what I can tell, I haven't done too much into it. This thing is more just, your standard affair where they tell us a whole bunch of shit happened, but for some reason, there's no footage of it. Or the footage that's available only shows specific things, seemingly to create opinion, to create, narrative. But the entire, Bondi Beach shooting should be on film. There should be so many cameras that captured everything. And they say that 15 people died. Do I believe it? No. Until the friars prove to me that they won't just lie to us for their benefit, whether it's a tiny lie or it's a big lie, they do nothing but lie. And so, I until that's not the case, I'm going to assume that they're lying, especially when there's a huge benefit that's going to come from it. Because this just reminds me of the synagogue shooting here in Philadelphia, or in Pittsburgh, where supposedly 11 people died. They at least have the decency again to say that, I hate saying this, but that it wasn't all elderly people that were killed in the Bondi Beach thing, right? Usually, the only people that die are elderly. Like, people that, if they died of natural causes that morning, you'd be like, oh, that's sad, but, they were, 60 years old. They were even in your mid-50s and whatnot. Once you pass, like, 45, dying is sad, but it's people die all the time. I saw the bloody face guy in a makeup tent. Apparently that photo is AI. But it just goes to show you the mentality we have. That we just don't trust them. And we don't trust what they tell us. Israeli supremacy. No, I'm proud of my anti-Semitism. Get it right. Anti-Semitic would be me opposing the Palestinian people. I have nothing but love for the Palestinian people. For the Iranians. For the Yemeni. For the Lebanese. Those are all Semitic people. The friars are Ukrainian, European, American, Polish, German, Russian. You are just, again, no surprise here, but you're too stupid to understand that words mean different things. Which is why you're probably one of those stupid asses who doesn't know the right your to use. Well, it doesn't matter. Words are words. No. Words are very powerful. That's why they use them. That's why they hijack them the way they do. That's why they've hijacked blood libel. Because blood libel is supposed to be something they do. Kidnapping children, Christian children, draining their blood and using it for ritual purposes, that's called blood libel. But now, if you say something they don't like, they say what you're doing is blood libel. And they did the same thing with anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism, spelled ANTI-Semitism, was first coined in the 1880s because of what I'm starting to learn more about. Things like the auto-emancipation pamphlet. Things like this thing we're talking about here today, the whatever it's called, the Hastening Redemption, the Aliyah, the colonization of Palestine goes much further back than people realize, and really openly, not ashamed, unapologetically colonizing Palestine. It's amazing how stupid they have us. But ANTI-Semitism was coined to oppose that. It was anti-Semitism. Semitism meaning policy or predisposition. The most important word in this definition. But policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Policy meaning rules and regulations, but predisposition is different. You have a predisposition to cancer if your family all has cancer. It's something that goes beyond your control. It's along the lines of genetic programming. So they demand that the rules and regulations and the genetic programming is favorable to them. And anybody in their right mind, it doesn't matter what you believe in, other than their shit, obviously, who benefits from it. But nobody should be okay with another group of people demanding that the laws and the genetic programming is favorable to them. Not equal, favorable. That's a huge distinction, because words matter, right? The words you say matter. So instead of just saying Semitism equals supremacy, because that word would be too powerful, they have to, spread that word out a little bit by saying policy or predisposition favorable to them. And somewheres, in the 1900s sometime, I don't know, they hijacked anti-Semitism, anti-Semitism, capital S-E-M-I-T-S-M, and started making it their own thing, to the point where in 2020 or 2021, damn it, I can never remember, there was, I guess, hearing. I mean, I don't even really know. I don't know the official, what's the word I'm looking for? The policy, the procedure. That's what I'm looking for. The official procedure for how you officially change the spelling of a word. And as a matter of fact, I can't think of anything, especially in modern times, that where a word was a word for over 100 years, and then they just decided to change it. I don't, I've never heard of anything like that. But they did. They had hearings, and they just decided that it would be changed from ANTI-Semitism to one spelling, one word, ANTI-Semitism. All one word, no caps, no hyphen, And the reason that they gave for doing this is because they didn't want the people, the Goyim, to think anti-Semitism opposed something called Semitism. They didn't want you to know that Semitism was a word. And that word is pretty fucked up. I mean, I just, if black people had a word that meant policy and predisposition is favorable to black people, can you imagine how upset that would make so many Trump supporters and even those I'm not racist but white people? If words weren't important, and how we use them and how they're used against us wasn't important, they wouldn't do that. The amount of effort then has to go back into changing the spelling and all the documents and all the literature and the government stuff and everything that includes. But the funny thing is too, Trump still has his task force to combat anti-Semitism spelled the old way. Makes you wonder why. It also sort of explains why they don't constantly say that's anti-Jewish, that's anti-Jewish, that's anti-Jewish. Because they don't really care if you support their beliefs. Right? What they care about is Semitism. That they get the policy and the predisposition favorable to them. They care that you see them as the chosen people and as the superior people. And anything that you do that goes outside of their, what they want, their parameters, if you are speaking about what's going on in Israel, if you are calling out metzitzia, that's not giving them the policy and the predisposition they demand. So it is a anti-Semitism. They're right. They're telling the truth. They've just demonized it so much that you think it's something bad. You should be proud to say, I oppose, metzitzia pape. I oppose the cutty slicey sucky. Let's see what you guys have to say. I'm agreeing with you. Balfour, F-B-A-L-F-O-U-R, I believe. F-O-R. It's just B-A-L-F-O-R. Declaration. The Balfour Declaration, which is actually the Rothschild Declaration. They just didn't want to put their names on it to make it so obvious. From 1916 is so late in the history, it doesn't matter by that point. The Balfour Declaration is nonsense. How many of you know about the Uganda project scheme? Other than people that have been on my feed, obviously, because I've talked about it several times. But do you know that they almost gave themselves Uganda in the late 18s, early 19s?
Wow, would that have changed the trajectory of history?
It wouldn't have worked. Because by that point, we were saying, hey, white people can't enslave black people. We had sort of made that distinction. Yeah. A lot of us were. And so to have, brown people enslave brown people that look just like them, well, that's not as big a deal. Plus, the goal was always Palestine. But they
Well, isn't that the promised land?
Yeah, they promised it to themselves.
Right. That's my favorite part. Can I see the ashtray, please?
Yeah. Don't you see this book we wrote says it? Can you give me some sort of proof outside of that book? No. How dare you? That's mean. You're being mean to me. 1948 is the Nakba. Everything started October 7th, where the October 7th false flag, where no Israelis were killed or taken hostage. Just think about this. Just, if I'm wrong, where's the investigation into October 7th? Have you seen any investigation whatsoever into the claims made by Israel and Israel alone on October 7th? Yeah, and maybe Hamas's, Facebook page or whatever. Because, they have a Facebook page. You know about the first Nakba? Israel has nuclear submarine. Yeah, I know you know what they want you to know. Jim for Palestine, 1887, Joseph I proposed a homeland for European Jewry. No, that is not the case, my man. That is the point I'm trying to show you guys. That's what all of this is about. The idea of a homeland for them, a land of their own, is long before that. The Auto-Emancipation pamphlet in 1882 not only states that they need let me just read this to you. This is the one that is so unbelievably telling. I am really into this Jewish autonomous oblast, but let's do this, because it's just a huge piece. Auto-Emancipation is a pamphlet written by German-Polish friar, doctor, and activist Leon Pinsker in 1882. It is considered a founding document of modern friar nationalism, especially Zionism. Pinsker discussed the origins of anti-Semitism, because that always has to be first and foremost, and argued for friar self-rule and the development of a friar national consciousness. He wrote that friars would never, quote, become the social equals to non-friars until they had a state of their own. He called on friar leaders to convene and address the problem. Listen to this part. In the pamphlet, he describes anti-friar attacks as psychosis, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia. They have been using the same tactics, the same tricks, the same mental disorder, that's mental. You know, anytime you say anything, you even see it on my shit. That's schizobabble. They love saying schizophrenic because they apparently don't know what schizophrenia is. But it then points to the groups like act.il, but even more importantly, the secure community network, which just watching some random news report about the Bondi Beach thing, it ends with a small little blurb about the secure community network. And if you really want to blow your fucking mind, check out the secure community network that boasts of having, back 2022 and shit, of connecting 90% of American friars. 90% are connected through this network, this early warning network, this planning network. You want updates on you want Bondi Beach updates, you're going to find them first at the secure community network, and then what they choose to share with police, the rest of us find out. This is so much deeper and so much bigger and older than you think it is. And again, that's only going with the idea that you accept the historical narrative we're given, that you think the 1880s are exactly as they tell us they are. But let's see, sorry. Europe being basically anti-Semitic, we're all for it. Several countries were considered before Sykes. No, they weren't. I mean, you're just wrong here. Europe wasn't against them. The European public was, but the leadership is who tried to give them Uganda. They turned down Uganda because Uganda would have required too much work from them. They like to show up in a bus where there's already a house, and then they run out and fight each other to get to a house that somebody lived in a week before. They're not trying to do a bunch of work, a bunch of farming, a bunch of all that to survive. That's not that lifestyle that they're meant for. 2,000 years of practice. Nah. What you think of is, again, this just comes down to where you are in this journey. Because, I think my wife is finally starting to come around to it. I mean, she's always had it, but it's funny because, again, it's like there's this duality here where, it's wrong, but you don't want to be the crazy conspiracy person. You can't talk about how it's wrong with people, or else they're going to ostracize you. They're going to do to you what they do to me, and most people don't want that. But my wife will, if I sit here, if I say that even the Greek history is fake and stupid, that's where she's going to draw the line. I draw the line at that. The Greeks did everything, blah, blah, blah.
Philosophy and science and math and language
and
love and
food. Sure.
All of it.
They just figured it out. We don't know how. We don't know where. We don't know when, but they just did.
They're the chosen people.
It's all just fake bullshit. The history of Greece is clearly fake.
The history of everything that we've been told is clearly
right, fake. But just look at Greece. Look at Greece. Look at this place that is full of architecture that we can't duplicate to this day. You don't see us duplicating it. And we're talking about thousands of years ago. People that barely had wheels and shit. They're digging channels and they're aqueducts and just all, it's just bullshit. Our history is bullshit. You have to accept to accept history. You have to accept that we are the most advanced, best people to ever exist, and yet when it comes to all of the ancient architecture, churches, cathedrals, channels, structures, statues, whatever, tunnel systems, underground fucking catacombs, like I say, step wells. If you haven't looked into step wells yet, you're missing out. They were able to create all those things, those inferior people to us with no power tools and, you know, no electricity, no communications, no shipping networks, blah, 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 just across the board. Which includes all of your religious bullshit. Doesn't matter which Abrahamic religion you subscribe to, or even your pagan bullshit. All of it. It's all just narrative given to us because they knew they needed options. Because they couldn't just be like, here's Christianity, everybody be Christian. Because there are people like me who are just inherently going to be like, oh, what? What? No.
I don't listen to a man with sandals and no socks.
I wear sandals with no socks and socks. I don't give a fuck. If it's cold outside, I don't want my feet getting cold. But I'm not trying to put on my shoes unless I have to. I need to come back to this Jewish oblast. I just want to read the history of it real quick, and then we'll move again. Wow, this is an actually longer history than I expected. So we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. Because I want to do this hastening redemption thing. Most people think they know everything because they graduated college, when in reality they're just programmed fools. Exactly. I mean, most people, if you ask them about the things they know, the things they believe, they get upset about it for some reason. If you ask me why I don't believe in God, you're going to see a smile come on my face. Like, I'm going to be like, wait, what? Are you seriously? You want me to tell you why I don't believe in God? Oh my God. That is so nice of you. Oh, I appreciate that so much.
I was going to say, that would be the one time that you would actually trip over your words because you're trying to get it out.
Right. It would just be so like, okay. Yet if you ask somebody why they do believe in God, maybe they'll have an initial, well, because the Bible, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, yeah, but why do you think the Bible is real? Well, because I have faith. And as soon as it gets to be, it's like, because I have faith is sort of their like declaration. They're like line in the sand. And they're like, don't you cross this line. I said I have faith. Okay, I don't have any reasonable answers or any sort of intelligence to bring your way. I have faith. Don't you question that. That makes me uncomfortable if you start shaking my faith. You know, everybody, I know it's a bold statement, but I think most people are just liars. I don't think most of the people that say they believe in Jesus or they claim to be Christians and all that, they're not. They don't believe that shit. If you truly believed in Christianity and you truly believed that there was a heaven and a hell, and you had a list of rules that you had to follow in order to get into heaven, and it's almost like a speed run, right? Like if you don't get every single piece of it exactly right, like you have to follow all the rules. You don't get to follow some of the rules. I don't know where this idea of repentance came from. Like, repentance is sort of like self-punishment, but the idea that there is a list of rules that that you have to follow to get that favor, but if you choose not to follow them, you know better, but you choose not to follow them anyway. Yeah, give me this. It's okay because all you then have to do is say you're sorry. And as long as you say you're sorry, then you breaking the rules doesn't really matter. My question then becomes, if repentance was key to salvation and all you needed to do when you violated the rules was repent, why did the church for so many years sell indulgences? What do you think, Chubby? I know you're not paying attention.
What did you say? Sorry.
If repentance is key to salvation, all you need to do is say you're sorry and you get into heaven.
Well, you have to repent a certain way.
Still, if that was all you had to do, then why, for so many generations, did the church sell indulgences? Why would anybody pay for it if all you got to do is be like, I'm sorry?
Because then you don't have to do the Hail Marys and the rosaries.
Yeah, but money's money. You're not going to give your money away. Just, I mean...
If you got it, then you don't... I mean, rich people pay for not having to do inconveniences all the time.
Yeah, but it wasn't just rich people that did it. It wasn't just rich people that did it.
Yeah,
it
regular people do valet too.
No, I know, but if you're a regular person and you don't have money falling out your asshole to spend, and these indulgences weren't cheap, to spend money on indulgences when all you have to do instead is, spend 15 minutes saying I'm sorry, why would anybody do that? Indulgences weren't cheap. It wasn't like you gave a penny to the church or something. There might be some arrogant people with a lot of money who, again, I mean, what is the protocol for repentance? Especially if you're the hierarchy by which the church works, serves. If you go to the priest and you say, priest, I did it again, I raped another kid, and the priest is like, well, I could either condemn you to hell and then be beheaded so they could bring another guy in that would just forgive you, or I could tell you, well, say 3 Hail Marys and you'll be all right. I mean, there is no standard set guidelines for repentance. Is there? Morning, bud.
Morning, Pickles.
They must not be up. It's like paying off the mob. I mean, to some degree, I guess. It's, the mob is a blueprint for how most things work. We're so, and they have godfathers and capos and enforcers and everything does. It's really, the church does. But I really think this is a huge loophole that hasn't been exploited enough. I've never heard anybody else point this out. The mob gives them lots of money. I've never heard anyone point out the fact that the church sold indulgences. So what's the difference now? If the way you got out of going to hell in the past was indulgences, you had to buy on top of your weekly, contributions, your weekly tithing, because God doesn't answer prayers now. You know that, right? God answers tithings.
He wants money.
God wants you. Well, God doesn't. God wants you to give the church money. Because they got fucking lawsuits to pay off and shit.
They have priests to shuttle off to other countries left and right, so their travel expenses are high.
They do get frequent flyer miles now. Don't get that wrong, but they do a lot of it. And no taxes. And favor on every level all the time. And I mean, to me, it's just insane. It's like the cop that gets caught drunk driving, and his fellow cops go out of their way to protect him. What? Shouldn't you be shouldn't he, you be more mad at that guy than you are anyone else? Especially considering every single time they get busted, they act like fucking lunatics. They never act like we're supposed to act, where we just comply and don't talk back and follow all the rules and just take our ass whipping like we should, just take it. They cry, they fight. You know, what the fuck, man? Distracted. There's so much to it. There's just so much to it. I gotta get back to this thing. Because this is huge. This is fucking huge. Whoa. All right. Hastening Redemption. We're going to start over. Hastening Redemption, Messianism, and the resettlement of the land of Israel. You ever notice how they have so many different names for it? The land of Israel, Israel, the state of Israel. Like, they're all different.
I like resettlement better than colonization. It sounds even prettier.
Right. What God wants, God gets. Roger Waters, frequent flyer miles. There is no God. Let's just be fucking real here. Come on now. Do you not understand that your entire perception of God is not yours? You were told at a young age, because if you were approached at an older age, if they left you alone until you got older, you'd never fucking believe this bullshit. Once you stop liking Transformers and G.I. Joe and shit like that, goofy ass fairy tales aren't going to appeal to you nearly as much.
Would you stop believing in Santa?
Mm-hmm. I really wonder, how do your average Christian parents reconcile that? When the kid comes to them and says, well, wait, if Santa isn't real, what about Jesus? What about God? How do you tell your kid that? It refers to the greed of the church. The church is only put in the position it's in. Ask yourself this. Why do all of the cardinals and highest ranking clergy, why do they all wear yarmulkes? Doesn't that seem weird? Whether it's a visible big red one or it's a small one underneath the fish hat or whatever. Don't you think it's shocking that... Well, first of all, the last pope died with almost no fanfare. But that the only time you've ever heard the pope really speak about the Israel-Palestine stuff is after October 7th, when they condemned the attacks.
We haven't heard shit about this current pope. The one that was,
Nope. Talking all that good shit.
Yeah.
Well, he was talking but he was a pretty standard, like, Trump supporter.
No, he's been talking against Trump. No, he's...
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't care. I couldn't care less about the piece of shit pope that doesn't condemn what Israel is doing to Christians. Israel is killing Christians. Lots and lots of Palestinians are Christians. Or at least they were.
Palestinian that I was really good friends with was Bassam Abu Hassan.
Fatty was.
Oh, was it?
And he used to say it, and I didn't understand it. Well, he used to say it, and I didn't understand. He'd say, yeah, the Muslims hate me more than they hate you. And I didn't know.
Yeah, Bassam didn't like telling people he was Palestinian.
Is a history of the 19th century friar immigration. It's an immigration to Palestine, published in 1985 by Israeli historian Ari Morgenstern.
So let me get this straight. It was the immigration. So the Palestinians took in these refugee immigrants.
Yes, actually.
Just to turn around and be killed by them?
Yes, actually. The actual truth is, for some reason, the Jews were all on boats, big, large boats. And they didn't know they were going to be accepted.
Was it Noah's Ark?
But they pulled into the Palestinian harbors, just hanging off the boats. Tons of them with big signs. And the Palestinians, I guess, according to the narrative, took them in. Said, you know what? We feel bad for you. You were kicked out of your place. We want to help you. And Palestinians were letting them live in their homes with them.
Not knowing they were being cased as to which ones were going to be taken.
One day, as if they were all connected and it was all some sort of plan, when the Palestinians came home, the doors were locked. The locks had been changed. And the Israelis were like, no, these are our houses now. And that literally happened to thousands of Palestinians that took in these refugees when they needed a place because nobody else wanted them. So that hypothetical dumbass, that's dumb scenario you just presented, yeah, that's actually what happened. The Palestinians were good, were accommodating, were compassionate, showed love, showed peace, Muslims and Christians. Welcomed these people in, took them into their own homes, offered their own food, gave them access. Here, you can stay at our house. I can't even imagine that.
So basically, they're just a culture grifters.
No, I wouldn't even.
They got the position of power. Once they got it, they didn't have to grift anymore.
Yeah, well, I just, part of me really questions that narrative because it's hard to accept. But as far as grifters go, that is our, that's Hollywoodism. That's what Hollywoodism shows you, is that what you think of history is a presentation given to you by them to manipulate us into creating the world they wanted to live in. You have to watch Hollywoodism. The link is in the description.
I don't wanna. I saw enough of it. It's disturbing.
It's not Shirley. It's Shari Abu Akla. Yeah. Shari Abu Akla was a U.S. citizen. Dual U.S., but her first was U.S., then Palestinian.
Oh, I thought she was from there.
She was a Christian, and she was a 20-year veteran, very, very high-ranking, very well-loved in the community, well-known for who she was by sight.
And she didn't do, bad stories.
Well, she did. She exposed the horrible nature, but she didn't, it wasn't
all,
truth.
Good. It was all to help. It was always...
Yeah, but to the Israelis, if you're exposing what they do, none of that's good. But so she was a hero for the Palestinians, but she was a highly priced target for the Israelis. And one day, after a conflict had broken out, after Israelis had done one of their raids, her crew was at the scene, just sort of filming, doing things. The footage is there. They're all standing together. They decide to break off and go in different, they're going to go do something. Nothing is happening right now, so they're just going to go do whatever. Her and her friend go walking off camera up, say to the north, walking up a small little corridor, when suddenly Shari, who is in a bulletproof vest that says press on it, and has a flak helmet on that also says pressed on it, is shot in the fucking face. Falls down. Her friend, holy shit. It happened that there was a wall and then there was a tree sticking out. So this corridor on one side of the wall, and then there was like this tree there, which provided protection for the other girl. She hid behind the tree. Well, Cherie lay there bleeding out. Anytime somebody tried to get close to her to help her, the Israelis would shoot at the ground and scare them away. Eventually, one of the men hopped over the wall, hiding behind the tree, sort of pulled her body back. She was dead. And you know, whatever. So let's say this happens on a Tuesday. Instead of us focusing on the fact that the Israelis just murdered a U.S. citizen, a female U.S. Christian reporter. Press is off limits. Geneva Conventions and all the fucking rules of war bullshit, press are off limits. Instead of there being outrage over Shireen Abu Akleh, well, it just so happened that that day was the grocery store shooting. Remember when that guy... So again, this is one of those things where each thing is a deep dive, right? So the grocery store shooter, the footage came out. The guy actually had body cam on. He is clearly military, the way he moves, the way he shoots, his precision. He shoots 3 people outside the store, walks into the store, shoots somebody, leans up against the wall, reloads his shit, takes a big breath, comes back out, sees a white guy on the floor, says, "Oh, sorry," turns and shoots another couple black people before he is killed. Turns out he had been arrested around a year earlier with a bunch of guns and explosives and should have been in prison for a long time at that time. But during the whole process, word came down from high to let him go, and his whole shit was dropped. He has connections to MK Ultra and all that other shit. And, gosh, I forgot. He has a connection to another shooting. I just can't remember which one it is. The shooters are connected somehow. I can't remember what it is. I'd have to go back and look. I haven't looked at this one in a long time. So when we're presented a story of, hey, this you know, highly respected, high-ranking female Christian U.S. citizen press agent was killed all the way over in Palestine, and the narrative is immediately, let the dog in! Let the dog, good morning, and let the dog in, please. The narrative was immediately that oh shit. You're not letting the dog in?
No, I am. I just let him out.
I know. Okay.
Oh, my thing didn't come off once.
Oh, I took mine off. You can take yours off and put it in the garbage.
I'm gonna shower?
No, not yet. No, you got hours. Hours. So what are you going to pay attention to? You're going to pay attention to the story that supposedly happened in Palestine? That Israel was initially saying the Palestinians did it. That it was rogue fire from a Palestinian operative that accidentally hit her. And they were lying the whole time. And they didn't know there was the footage that existed. And it took months where they would say, okay, so maybe it was us. Why don't you give us the bullet so we can analyze it and see if it was one of ours? You know, so they could make it disappear, obviously. But this gets better. So presented with the two narratives, care about the single female all the way over with those fucking Muslims, or this white dude went into a black grocery store and shot black people, and here in the United States, and it's racism, and it's, you know, Which story is going to garner the most attention? Obviously.
The whole thought of black grocery store addiction.
Well, if we all know what black grocery store means, right?
Yeah. Shit ass quality
Shit.
Poisonous food.
Right. Shit. You ever go shop at a black grocery store? The meat is all like gray and fucking just nasty grizzle, and the produce is all rotten and shit. It's terrible. Anyway, so let's say again that happened on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the Israelis kidnapped her brother when he was walking somewhere. Sorry. They kidnapped her brother, and they told him that they are not to have the standard funeral that not just Christians, but Christian martyrs like Shireen should have. Because normally the Palestinians will have the funeral at the church, and then they will carry the casket singing songs and solidarity to the graveyard where they are then buried. But they carry it. They martyr the person, right? The Israelis told him that they aren't to do that. And then they roughed him up and whatnot. And they dropped him off. Well, instead of doing that, he went straight to the report to the news, told his story, and the following day, we'll say it's a Thursday, when they had their funeral, because Jews are the only ones that can have funerals within hours of the actual event, like Samantha Woll, or just any of them. I mean, seriously, Samantha Woll, the Pittsburgh shooting. The Pittsburgh shooting happened on a Sunday. 11 people were supposedly killed. Monday, 6 of them were buried. Tuesday, the other 5 were buried. Think about the logistics behind not just one funeral the next day, but 6. It's just fucking stupid. It's just fucking stupid. So Thursday, they end up having the funeral. Footage is out there. They go to carry the casket to the graveyard, to the cemetery, when the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, a military organization, shows up to the funeral to try to prevent it. When they refuse, the military police force attacks the funeral procession. Flashbangs, smoke bombs, rubber bullets. They're hitting people with batons and billy clubs and shit. So much so that they actually hit the people carrying the casket, and they dropped it. And it almost hit the... I wish, as morbid as it is, that the casket would have hit the ground and the body would have fallen out. Because that would have made all the news. As horrendous as that was, or that would be unavoidable. That would have been really, really bad for the Israelis. Especially if she fell out and you saw her fucking whole shit was blown to bits. But the funeral was in fact shut down. They ended up having to put the body in a hearse and then take it to the cemetery. Afterward, when asked what the fuck was that about, I believe it was Netanyahu was in charge at this point, maybe? Was Netanyahu? No, because this was 2022. So Netanyahu... No, after the fact. This was long after the fact, actually. Netanyahu ended up saying that the reason the military police force was shown on camera attacking a funeral is because they in their infinite wisdom thought that was a better look than Palestinians carrying the casket, singing songs, and waving flags. They didn't want the image of the Palestinians carrying the casket, singing songs, and waving flags to go around. So they attacked it. And they also said, oh, there were some people there that needed to be arrested. Yeah, that was it. You guys remember that, right? You remember the international uproar at the fact a military police force attacked a civilian press, United States citizen Christian female press agent's funeral. You remember that huge uproar, right? Nah. Because what ended up happening is the death became the cover-up for the funeral. The funeral is by far the more outrageous story. As crazy as awful as the death is itself, the attack of a military operation on a funeral is unheard of. If you can show me another example of that, I'm all ears. Show me another example of a military organization, a military police force, flat out attacking a funeral. Doesn't exist. You know what else happened? That Thursday, the day that happened, when we should have been focused on that, you know what we were focused on instead? The weird school shooting in San Antonio, or in San Antonio, in Texas somewhere, I think it was San Antonio, where supposedly 19 kids and 2 teachers died, all in the same classroom, and yet for some reason, they held all of the kids hostage until the parents gave DNA samples so they could get their kids back. I mean, you know, do you know how stupid that is? Like, the kids don't know who their parents are? Like, you couldn't easily figure out who was killed since it was all in one class? Every kid that wasn't in that class should have just been let go to their parents, and then the parents and that, you know. What? Have you heard anything about that? Have you ever heard of any sort of follow-up coverage, follow-up narrative, follow-up, you know, policing or anything that came from that bullshit? And again, what are you more likely to pay attention to? The idea of an American U.S. citizen, female Christian press agent's funeral being attacked is a really big fucking deal. So, what can you provide the narrative to cover up something that atrocious? You'd have to come up with something really fucking atrocious to cover for that. And 19 kids and 2 teachers being killed is just that atrocious. So the 2 days that Israel did these things, the 3-day period, here in the States, we happen to have 2 pretty massive shooting events. Anytime there's a shooting event, look up Israel and see what's going on. Look at whatever this weird, completely manufactured false flag shooting is and how it's being presented to distract us from whatever's going on with Israel. You know, that idea was something that it was a theory. It was hey, I wonder if this is the case. I wonder if it just happens to work out that every time something happens here, if I look up Israel, there's going to be a significant thing that's happening that involves, you know, some sort of American or something along those lines. Sorry, You know, it's not too hard to see. So let me get back to this thing. I haven't been able to get past the first fucking sentence yet. Ari Morgenstern. Publication of the book led to the scholarly reconsideration of the followers of the Vilna Gaon, who were not previously thought of as messianic in outlook. According to Morgenstern, the messianic impulse according to Morgenstern, according to Morgenstern, the messianic impulse that motivated friars to settle in the land of Israel and the belief in the centrality of the Eretz Yisrael were critical components in friar spiritual life that predated the Zionist era. I might need to leave here in a second. His basis for findings. Sorry, trying to make some money. His basis for his findings on documentation made available by the opening of archives in the former Soviet Union and the archival discoveries in Western and Central Europe. Seal of Jewish community in Jerusalem in the 19th century. The Great Awakening, hopefully that's how this works. Hopefully this is the dawn of Goyim realizing we are the best. They aren't the best, we are the best. Friar immigration in 1808 to 1840. Well, this isn't very long. According to certain priestic readings of the Bible and Talmud, it was said that the Messiah would arrive in the Hebrew year 5600 or 1840, which is kind of strange, actually, right? Because you look at this narrative that we've been given about what things have basically been like since 1840, and you go, hey, wait a minute, like, I don't believe the Messiah returned or anything, but I'm just saying, it's strange how they definitely began the takeover, or at least the historical record seems to suggest that the takeover was yo.
Don't you push really, really hard when you're doing a deep tissue massage?
Yeah, harder than you can even imagine.
Yes, exactly.
That kid is insane.
It feels good.
Yeah, like not only do I push hard, I will use my knuckles like this, and I'll push as hard, and oh, it feels so good. Yeah, you know how you weirdos are, you pain freaks. It's insane. Beginning in the early years of the 19th century, where I went before, I just gotta go. Huh? No. GC.
Oh.
Beginning in the early 19th century, thousands of friars able to finance the journey moved with their families to the land of Israel to await the great event. Boy, that's convenient for them, huh? It's convenient for them that it just worked out. That, yeah, here, wait, can you? Apparently. Can you hold this for a second? The arrival of large numbers of followers of the Vilna Gaon, known collectively as the Prishum, was especially notable. Sizable groups are recorded as arriving from friar communities all over the world, including Persia, Yemen, Morocco, Algeria, and Russia. Arriving in Palestine. Right, this is about colonization of Palestine. The Gaon's followers initially settled in Tiberias and then Safed. Later, some of them moved to Jerusalem and continued to live there, adorning their messianic beliefs when the Messiah failed to appear, abandoning their messianic beliefs when the Messiah failed to appear in 1840. The settlers' early enthusiasm was tempered by a devastating cholera epidemic in 1813. Much hardship was caused by the underdeveloped state of the economy and the Ottoman government's disinterest in securing the life and property of its subjects. The morality rates among the immigrants were extraordinarily high. Or the mortality rate, sorry. Life was difficult for everyone, but friars suffered even more due to laws that forbade them to bear arms, making it impossible for friar travelers to defend themselves from bandits, build housing, or establish synagogues. Gee, they sure seem to do a good job, though, huh? These restrictions could only be overcome by means of substantial bribes. Somehow they still had lots of money, though. And even that was only possible in the event that the responsible officials were corrupt, or the responsible officials were corrupt and not especially deposed towards friars. Some disciples of the Gaon arrived from Lithuania as part of the Hazon Zion, Vision of Zion movement led by Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Shklov. Conditions improved after the conquest of Syria, of which the land of Israel was then part, by Muhammad Ali of Egypt in 1832. A letter from Jerusalem in 1834 describes large-scale immigration to the Holy Land. It should be known to you that from other lands, worthy people are actually streaming to the four holy cities, Hebron, Jerusalem, Tiberias, and Safed. I don't know who said that. There's a quote, though. Safed, is that it? It's just it's Safed. The new government was more lenient in its treatment of friars, allowing them the rebuilding of synagogues in Tiberias and destroyed by the Galilee earthquake of 1838, and the rebuilding of some friar housing. And then that's it. That's all I can get regarding this. I'm going to have to look more when I get back home.
Are you getting money?
Yeah. Hold this.
Just so you can get gas and blunts on the way home?
I guess, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Not much.
That would be cool. Oh my goodness. It is so cold outside. We have all this icy ass snow. And then it's supposed to start warming up a little tomorrow. Rain all day Thursday. And then freeze all back up on Friday. It sucks.
You're so 6'7". You're so 6'7".
I just saw some like
Listen to your mother.
report about 6-7, like the
Don't make yourself sound
some
old.
deep meaning to 6-7. It's not demonic. That's what they were addressing. Okay, so it's not demonic. What they're saying, they're saying that it's actually an energy transcension, like an energy shift, where we're evolving as humans. And the
I love yous guys. Hey, after Blunt, I'm only gonna have like $7 for gas. Is that all you want me to put in?
do you
need money?
No. They're so funny. Standing on it like what? Man, we have been getting hammered by chemtrails. Reminds me of 2016, and I haven't said that in a long time. 2015, 16. Well, 14, 15, 16, to be honest. Because 14, 15, 16 were the worst years. Let's make sure I know where I'm going. Okay. Oh yeah, now I remember. My head hitting the fucking ceiling is driving me crazy. Oh look, we have an Israeli fucking piece of shit on here. Boom, boom, boom.
Man, this is just like...
What the hell? What the hell?
Man, this is just like riding a bicycle.
No, you're an Israeli troll piece of shit.
Making a hip-hop beat. I just can't...
And we need to eliminate you.
No matter how hard I keep my
Man, I was expecting more from the hastening thing. You know? Like it's I can't believe how obvious this all is. I mean, I shouldn't succeed like I do. I shouldn't be able to legitimately point out just how terrible this whole thing is, while, you know, it's such an easy way where it just, you know what I mean? Like it should be more difficult. I'm talking about the conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah bullshit. Look at this. My God. How many planes do you think that little spot over there took? Just that in itself. But look at all these. Every single one of these is a plane line. Every single one of them. None of these are actual clouds. Wow, this is fucking insane. How anybody ever sees that shit and thinks that's just normal. Look at that fresh one being laid. I can't see it. How you do that? I just can't even imagine. Jacob stole the blessing from Abraham, by the way. I mean, you know, when it comes to the biblical bullshit, it's not true. You guys understand that, right? None of it's true. None of it. It's just a fake-ass fucking story. You should be embarrassed to say you believe in that shit. It's embarrassing. It's incredibly stupid, and it's embarrassing. And they use it to you know, to keep us in this constant and just not good enough and all that shit. Be happy with what you have. Don't want more. Don't speak out against insanity that you see. What the fuck is going on here, people? Why are you okay with this? Why are you dumb enough to think that this is just what planes do sometimes? Oh, look, that one's following the black line. That one's making the shadow in front of the plane somehow. I mean, it's just, it's amazing. Judeo-Christian values is a misnomer because it excludes Islam. Abrahamic values is the proper term, right? Because they are, well, values, I mean, what the fuck are we even talking about with values? What values do they have? What's good about these people? About any of the cults and all that shit? I mean, look this shit. Look at this shit. What is wrong with you? I'm supposed to respect you as a human being when you see this and you go, oh, that's fucking normal. Yeah, that's normal. Black lines and shit. Yeah, normal. Sorry. Failure to communicate. I know, I'm crazy. I fail because I'm lazy, and I only really say things so I can get attention. But if that was my intention, why wouldn't I just mention how I'm not on the fence and I believe in Jesus? I could easily succeed with selling you the pieces if you Jesus, Yeshua, is known as a prophet in the Middle East and India. Yeah, because it's all the same brainwashing, because we live in a one-world society. It doesn't make it true by any means. It just means it's like the authors putting their signature on things. Just in case maybe you were like, hey, are these all connected? Yep, they're all connected. Reconnecting. Why do we have to reconnect? Why do we have to reconnect?
Puncture the structure and continue to prove how I am the truth is the answer. Removing excuses that you missed. Damning the cancer that has your salvation.
You get your free download, www.the-bilderberg, group.com. It's free. It'll ask you how much you want to pay. Just click 0 and it's free. What the fuck? Well, it's funny because, again, I never did do the Helen Keller thing. I should, but I haven't. You know, it's more of like Helen Keller is such a small piece. The Anne Frank thing, it's funny, I made a mistake for 2 hours and no one caught it. And then we had the pedo, Mackenzie pedo, that's here right now, no doubt. Came in pretending like, oh, well, I watched the replay. Stupid ass. I know you're watching now, you fucking pedophile piece of shit. You don't watch replays. Oh. Like I'm so interested by lots of different things. But with everything going on right now, and with the monotony, the similarity of everyone else out there and how they all talk about the same shit, I feel so compelled lately to stay or be laser focused on this secure community network, Zionism history. Like we need to figure this out, and we need to be able to you need to be able to communicate with other people. Do you know that every time I go to a light where the light's, for some reason it's broken and it's all, flashing red, that I never, that it works almost better than any other thing. The traffic doesn't get too backed up and everything just moves along. Isn't that weird? I think we'd be better off if lights were all red flashing lights instead of green or red. I just wanted to listen to Helen Keller stuff. I was talking about that one. Yeah, no, I know. I remember you. It's just so unimportant. I got a hair up my ass that day. I'm not even sure why, but it's all the same manipulation. The same bullshit, the same narrative, just different characters, different settings, different outcomes, but it's all the same. It's all friar control, keeping us stupid, keeping us wanting, keeping us hating each other, keeping us fucking oblivious. Are you shitting me right now? Look at this shit. Look at how bad this is. And again, all of this other stuff that's like the clouds, that's all, if you pay attention, those are all individual lines themselves. Everything we're seeing up there is a line right now. I'll probably do the Helen Keller thing in a minute, but it's so bad right now, and there's so much, it's so obvious what's actually happening and being ignored that I feel like there are a lot of people like me out there who are desperately looking for someone to be talking about these things. because they see the problem like I do, and they see their people like Ian Carroll and all that shit, you know, basically saying what they're supposed to say. They're not saying, they're saying that the conspiracy side of things, but it's all very, you know, similar and focused. And you know, you can't say it's the friars themselves, it's that cult, because I have some nice friar friends who are nice to my face, so not all friars are bad. Fuck you. Fuck you. And they're all telling you that Jesus, they all do it. It's so disheartening to watch any of the truthers I'm a fan of consistently push the same Jesus bullshit. If you see in my videos, I made a short yesterday asking Christians, you know, why come Jesus doesn't appear to Netanyahu, Bezalel Smotrich, Itamar Ben-Gvir, and tell them to stop being such horrible assholes? And I want to see, I know I had 6 comments on it. I had decent views. Let's see, I'm Team Goyim, right?
The last thing most of us want is to get pulled over, but heroes like Jay Surreal, Direct D, and
Guess not.
auditor who puts their lives on the line.
I'm trying to find my own shit, I can't find it. I put my name in. Let's go, let's try to the submarines. Submarines are not real. Comes up. I put submarines are not real in Google search, and mine isn't the first thing that pops up. I'm live talking about I have the exact title of this video, or of, you know, that's the title of the video, and that's not what pops up. Let's see if I can, we'll put search filters in. There we go. There we go. Let's see here. Let's look up my short from yesterday. 696 views. Let's see what the comments have to say. Why won't you just have Jesus show up to Netanyahu or Bezalel Smotrich or Itamar Ben-Gvir, tell them what they're doing is wrong, and stop this genocide? Pray about it, right? Hey, quick question for Christians. I wish shorts weren't 30 seconds. I wish or 15 seconds, whatever. I wish they were just a little bit longer. I can't find anyone in my life that has a clue, still talking Dems and Republican nonsense. Yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? I mean, that's literally why we flock to here. That's why I do what I do, and then you guys come to me, because, you know, it's the only time you actually get somebody that speaks your language, and it happens to be some stranger that is censored to bejesus. You saw how hard it was for me to find my own feed with a phone that's on the same plan as this phone. I mean, this is I don't understand what else I'm supposed to do. How else can I show you that you know, what we experience is wrong, but doesn't have to be this way? You know, this reality that we're given is such utter bullshit. And it's like, it's such bullshit that it doesn't go, oh yeah, ask me anything, I'll prove I'm not bullshit. Look at this. It goes, We're not bullshit, but you're not allowed to say anything. Don't you ask any questions. Look at this shit. We're actually getting the north to south motherfuckers this time, and not just individually, like multiple. And they got another one getting dropped there. They're about to cross that T. Why isn't everyone up in arms about this? You know, we should all be like, they're clearly trying to do something. And if it was something good, they would charge us for it. You would have a chemtrail tax on your paychecks every week. Because they, geoengineering tax, trying to make the world a better place for you. Hola, mi amiga. How are you?
Good, how about you?
Great.
Thank you, pal.
No problem. Merry Christmas. Yep, got more whenever you want them. I have more whenever you want. Keep an eye, because I have been posting a lot more. Like there was a ton. Yeah, there was a ton. There's still a ton I haven't posted, but I don't know. Is it just Switch, or do you have other systems too?
It's just Switch that I have.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to collect a lot of Switch games because I like the physical, not the digital.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I have lots of Switch games, so whenever you're ready.
You have a bunch of limited runs that are not posted?
No, all my Switch games are posted. So.
Okay. Yeah, I want the Turok ones.
They're just expensive.
Yeah.
But you can't. They have to. They are.
Right.
Right. But I'll give you a deal. Like,
All right.
I don't know what I have them for, but knock off $20 or whatever. So.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. And I'll always trade for rare Pokemon.
You know what? I just pulled 2 Mega Charizards.
Okay, well, let me have them and pick a bunch of games.
All right, I'll send you pictures when I get them.
Cool.
All right.
Oh, that would be really cool. I'm all about Pokemon, because 10 years from now, they'll be nothing more than more valuable. That's all they'll ever do is gain value. So I'd much rather trade you for Pokemon than get your little $30 or whatever it is. What? What is going on? Oh my God, I wish I would have noticed. Look at that bullshit. So what, I was going the wrong way. My bad. I meant to go this way with this chemtrail over here, blah, blah, blah. Do you guys not see what is going on here? Look at this. Those 4 right there. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I just don't understand you people. What do you think? You're gonna pray that shit away? God's just waiting for the chemtrail prayer jar to fill up before he goes, you know what? Fuck that. These chemtrails gotta go. I shouldn't let them spray these chemtrails anymore. The thing is, though, if you know your Bible, right, then you know God couldn't care less about what we do to the planet. God couldn't care less about how we treat each other. God really, really does not give a shit about us or what we do or any of that. The thing that God cares about more than anything else The thing that prevents God from destroying the earth again is Jewish circumcision. And then subsequently the circumcision of the Goyim slaves. Do you understand that? Do you understand the sickness you have been tricked into believing in? I mean, it's just so overwhelmingly stupid, obvious, all those things. It's so fucking bad. Oh, look, we can see this fucking trail now. You're just flying up, do. Oh shit, gotta make a hard right turn. Do you understand the G-forces that turn would take? That was a sharp turn. As far as airplanes go, that is a sharp fucking turn. I mean, that's literally almost a 90-degree turn. But hey, I'm the crazy conspiracy theorist because I think something's wrong with that. Not you. Not you. Look, those two are coming together up there. There's two getting laid, and they're about to cross. I mean, this is seriously, this is some 2014, 15, 16 shit. Oh, look. And then there's the plane that's going to Detroit Metro Airport that doesn't have anything coming out of it. And for all of you that say, oh, the properties up higher are different, it's colder up there. Yeah. You know what else it is? Extremely windy up there. So if it's so fucking windy up there, why do these things even still exist? Look at this shit. It's just getting painted, and it's coming more and more north every trail. They're just painting it. What the fuck? What do you think that plane right there just flew straight up and then started flying? Why does the chemtrail start right there if they didn't turn it on right there? It can't be atmospheric because there's chemtrails all around that area. So it wouldn't be just some sort of weird atmospheric thing. Oh, look, there's another one just coming right there. Just do. I mean, it's really hard to not be fucking terrified by this. Seriously, this is terrifying. What the fuck are they doing? Look at this. So all three of those trails at that one same spot, they made a little adjustment and came up a little bit. Is that what that happened? I mean, just look at this, you guys. Who doesn't think there's anything wrong with this? Who thinks that's just fucking vapor? That's just exhaust. Look, even if it was just exhaust, right? Even if it was just exhaust that they were just poisoning our skies with, wouldn't that be bad? You know, there are things called emissions. Your car can't leave big long lines of smoke like that because it's an emissions violation. So to think that all of these planes are not just leaving exhaust lines, but then those exhaust lines are spreading out to cover the sky like a weird blanket, you think that's okay? It's a difference in moisture content in the air. Oh yeah, it's a difference in moisture content. And then like right there, the moisture content was different. Even though it's literally going through a different trail, they didn't just turn on the sprayer right there. It's just a difference in moisture content. Like, this is something stupid people say, right? Because literally all you have to do is look up chemtrails on Wikipedia, and you'll get the erroneous. The first thing it says is chemtrails are the erroneous conspiracy theory that long-lasting trails are something being put into the air because normally trails would dissipate, which is 100% true. So what they say then too is that it's either stratospheric aerosol injection, or it's cloud seeding, both of which are very marine cloud brightening, cloud seeding, both of which are very well documented things. But hey, I guess if the government doesn't tell you it's bad, it must not be bad, right? If they were doing something bad like spraying us, they tell us they're spraying us, right? Right? That's usually what happens. Whenever they're doing something bad, they just tell us they're doing something bad, right? Isn't that how that works? I'm surprised they haven't figured out a way to make them invisible. I thought they had. But see, that's the point. I don't think they're supposed to be invisible. I think they want us to see it. You know, and it's supposed to, again, it's supposed to be a thing that is combating global warming.
What happens when we don't pretend it's just another day? I'm begging your fellow reporters to please just stop reading the teleprompter. Call out the disorder that allows
But I thought, because there was a significant difference after 2016, I thought either A, they're doing it at night, or B, they've come up with a new formula. But, you know, this is meant to reflect sunlight back into space to combat global warming, because, you know, the Earth is like 1.5 degrees warmer than it used to be, or some shit. So when that's the narrative that you're given, like if you're giving us, even though people are dumb enough to say it's just moisture, if you do happen to look it up and you say, oh, well, maybe it wasn't moisture, it is something, but it's good. It's to combat global warming. You know, we definitely need global warming combated around here. That's for damn sure. But if you say that, then you have the justification, you have the explanation. So then if they were doing the same thing but it was invisible, then people be like, well, why are you flying all these planes over our heads? You know, that's really weird. Instead of, oh yeah, they're doing that, but it's to combat global warming. You see why they have to make it visible. If they make it visible, it fits the narrative. Sounds like you know what you're talking about. I do. No, it's moisture, nothing more. Again, what sort of dumbass says that? It's just moisture. Why would you think that way? Why isn't it every plane if it's just moisture? Why are they turning their shit on and off if it's just moisture? Why is it spreading out and becoming large clouds that don't dissipate if it's just moisture? I can hear your reasoning failing you. Yet, see, you can't say anything. You're just dumb. You just say dumb shit. It's just moisture. Because not every plan is going through the same area of, they're not going. What if they are going through the same area of moisture, though? What if the one that's not leaving a trail is not leaving a trail the same place one already left a trail? And what kind of moisture is it? It's just water vapor? No, you're not. You're dumb as fuck. Water can't. No. Well, here, let's just show this dumbass. One engine is bigger than the other, turning more. Oh, that's what it is. Those super high jets that you can't see way up in the stratosphere. One engine is bigger than the other one. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. What a dumbass. What a fucking dumbass. It's so frustrating how stupid people can be. Because look at chemtrails, and we're going to go to, again, we're going to go to Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is locked. One, this isn't one that anybody could just edit Wikipedia. Not this page. And two, This is what Israel wants us to know. This is what the piece of shit Israelis want us to know. So, this is literally what it says. Chemtrail conspiracy theory is the erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft are actually chemtrails consisting of chemicals or biological agents sprayed for nefarious purposes undisclosed to the public, which they have done numerous times. They've been actually caught doing that numerous times. Believer, that's the first sentence now. Let's just pay attention. They go from saying it's the erroneous conspiracy theory in the first sentence. Second sentence says, believers in this conspiracy theory say that while normal contrails dissipate relatively quickly, which they do, contrails that linger must contain additional substances. Like, you know, when you go to an air show, because the only time you ever see airplanes, you used to only see airplanes doing this. There wasn't just random days where the moisture was higher count when I was a kid. The only time you would ever see planes doing this is at an air show, where additives are specifically put into the exhaust to make it leave long-lasting trails. Literally, it's if you're dumb enough to think that what, they can't drop something out of a plane, they can't spray something out. They've been able to drop shit out of planes since they've been able to fly planes. But like, this is the stupidity that this guy is going to argue with Wikipedia now, because Wikipedia, the locked Wikipedia page, the official Wikipedia page that is locked, so nobody can edit it, so your number one excuse is gone. Jesus Christ. Jesus tap dancing motherfucking Christ, man. Fuck you and your fucking piece of shit, Jesus. Oh, shit. I totally forgot. You know, look at that. Just exhaust. Don't talk about your mother like that. What? I forgot to go to the store. Give me 1 second. Huh? You talking to Alex? I don't give a fuck with Alex. You go downstairs. Why? Take it off speakerphone.
I didn't want to put it up on my head.
So don't. Hold it like an inch away from your head. You can still hear it. She's got a loud voice. Okay, so must contain additional substances. Okay, so that's the second sentence in this definition. Okay, so this is the best. So the third sentence says, those who subscribe to this theory speculate that the purpose of the chemical release may be solar radiation management. All these things are blue, mind you, so you can look them up. Weather modification, psychological manipulation, human population control, biological or chemical warfare, or testing of biological or chemical agents against the population. So, by the third sentence, we're given options. Let's see what solar radiation management is. Solar radiation management is a group of large-scale approaches to reduce global warming by increasing the amount of sunlight that is reflected away from the Earth back into space. It is not intended to replace efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but rather to complement them as a potential way to limit global warming. SRM is a form of geoengineering. The most researched SRM method is stratospheric aerosol injection, in which small reflective particles would be introduced into the upper atmosphere to reflect sunlight. Other approaches include marine cloud brightening, which would increase the reflectivity of clouds over oceans, or constructing a space shade or space mirror to reflect the amount of sunlight reaching Earth. Like, it's so dumb. So, let's look up stratospheric aerosol injection. Stratospheric aerosol injection, SAI, is a proposed, it's proposed. They don't do it, it's just a proposed method. God damn it. Lighter just died.
Which one? The white one?
Black one.
I don't know what the white one is. I was using the black one, so you must have taken the white one.
I did take the white one, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Is a proposed method of solar geoengineering to reduce global warming. This would introduce aerosols into the atmosphere to create a cooling effect via global warming. Shut up, dude! Come on! Do you have to be like this?
Sorry, I'm just really happy.
Great! You don't have to be it's so obnoxious that everybody has to hear it. Do you hear me talking to you?
Yes, I do.
So why are you not?
Because I'm not.
Because what? You're being rude?
No.
This would introduce aerosols into the stratosphere to create a cooling effect via global dimming and increase albedo, which occurs naturally from volcanic winter. It appears that stratospheric aerosol injection at a moderate intensity could counter most changes in temperature and precipitation to take effect rapidly and have low direct costs and could be reversible. The International Governmental Panel on Climate Change concludes that it, quote, is the most researched solar geoengineering method that could limit warming to below 1.5 degrees Celsius. Right? Nathan, come on, man. I mean, it's fucking insane. Mikhail Budko is believed to have been the first in 1974 to put forth the concept of artificial solar radiation management with stratospheric sulfate aerosols in global warming, if global warming ever became a pressing issue. There you go. So let's go back a little bit. Let's just go back. We're going to go back to now. We'll read marine cloud brightening. Marine cloud brightening. Weird, huh? Marine cloud brightening, also known as cloud seeding, may be a way to make stratocumulus clouds over the sea brighter, thus reflecting more sunlight back into space in order to limit global warming. It is one of two such methods that might feasibly have a substantial climate impact, but is lower in the atmosphere than stratospheric aerosol injection. Let's look up cloud seeding real quick. Funny, you pull up cloud seeding, and it literally shows you a picture of the airplane, the old school airplane with propellers, dropping shit into clouds to make it rain. Cloud seeding is a type of weather modification that aims to change the amount or type of precipitation, mitigate hail, or disperse fog. The usual objective is to increase rain or snow, either for its own sake or to prevent precipitation from occurring in days afterward. So one of the things that they said was to disperse fog. So let's look at this. So again, well, that's a new picture. The Pittsfield flight was the world's first successful weather modification experiment. So here you have the Beech 18 used dry ice for cloud seeding in the early post-war U.S. So that's in the 40s. You know, you don't have to get even with someone, right? I know, but you don't have to do it back. Here is the Lockheed cloud seeding from Wagga Airport in 1958. Okay. Here is the T-28A Trojan Rainmaker in 1960. The Curtis P-40 Rainmaker in 1964. The Curtis P-40N Weather Modification Company Cloud Seeder. Here's my favorite. The Harvard Hail Defense, 1964. Have you ever in your life heard the news say there's a hailstorm coming? Don't worry. We're going to send up our team of hail defense planes. Don't worry. The University of Michigan, Harvard, Yale, they're going to send up their cloud seeders to disperse the fog or disperse the hail. I didn't know that was possible. If that's possible, why is there ever damage from hailstorms? If that was possible, if Harvard, not just Harvard itself, had its own hail defense system in 54, why don't we have that in 2025? Seriously. Notice how chemtrail guy tried to focus on the word that they used like it matters. No, they said it was erroneous. They said it was erroneous. That was the point. They said it was erroneous, and then within 2 sentences are giving you examples of it. Stratospheric aerosol injection, weather modification. That's what happens when it's erroneous. But this guy's like, no, you see, it says erroneous. Look, I'm going to type it in capital letters because I can't come up with any more arguments. And what kind of normal human being who's not just a piece of shit Israeli troll might think that way, might think, oh, that's just water vapor. No, there's nothing to say that. But then when the evidence is presented to them, they still go, dude, I'm stupid, I don't like it. Here is a Cessna 2006 in Australia. So this is the funniest thing. So we go from the Harvard Hail Defense in 64 in Canada to a Cessna 210 in 2006. Are we saying there was no fucking advancements in the chemtrail Harvard Hail Defense, the dispersion method planes for 50 fucking years? Go figure. Go figure. Of all things, you have the Cessna Skymaster 2012 or 2015 in Israel of all places. Huh. And then you have the Alpha Jet 2014 in Morocco. Modern day jets. Yeah. But hey, that's just water vapor. It's just because the one engine is bigger than the other engine. Duh. It's because one engine's bigger than the other one. Duh. See, and this is where, again, this is where your knowledge base has long since ended. You don't know what you're talking about. But it gets even worse, right? In 1891, Louis Gathman suggested shooting liquid carbon dioxide into rain clouds to cause them to rain. In 1891, liquid carbon dioxide. You ever heard of liquid carbon dioxide? No. You know why? Because liquid carbon dioxide doesn't exist in our Earth's atmospheric conditions. That's why dry ice sublimes from a solid state directly into a gas, because it can't maintain a liquid state at our atmospheric conditions. Okay?
Where? Alright, well, listen. Oh, brother.
Liquid carbon dioxide is the liquid form of carbon dioxide. At normal atmospheric pressure, carbon dioxide can only exist as a gas or a solid, and is ordinarily found as a trace gas in Earth's atmosphere. It's not even common, which is weird. Why would it be just a trace gas if it's what we exhale? Shouldn't there be an abundance of carbon dioxide? Its liquid state can exist at pressures above 5.1 as to mouth ATM, which is actually 5.2 bar or 75 psi. So at pressures above 75 pounds per square inch. So it has to be in a highly pressurized container that has 75 pounds per square inch compressing it or more. Do you understand that? Do you understand, like, what containers did they have in 1891 or earlier, much earlier actually, that were capable of holding gases? First of all, how were they even collecting gases? But that they were able to store gases in a pressurized environment in 1891. Do you understand how insane that is? What do you think 1891 looked like? What technology do you think they had in 1891? When was the regulator invented? So that you could let a gas out and it wouldn't just fucking come out. It would come out. Between the temperatures of its triple point, minus 56.6 degrees Celsius, and its critical point, 31.1 degrees Celsius, or minus 69.9 degrees Fahrenheit and 88 degrees Fahrenheit. But again, it can't be at a high temperature to create it. You have to get it to the negative. Minus 60. How did they achieve minus 69.9 degrees Fahrenheit before we had, like, this is one of those things, right? Where you go, they used refrigerants to make things colder. Well, what refrigerants did they have in the 1800s that could produce that could produce environments that were minus 50 degrees Celsius or whatever, and then maintain that environment under pressure? Do you understand this? Are you, like, again, I know I'm just some dumbass, but solid CO2, known as dry ice, occurs in low temperatures and has commercial applications. Dry ice sublimes above 109.3 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 109 degrees at atmospheric pressure. That is, it transitions directly from solid to gas without any intermediate liquid state. The only way it turns into a liquid is if it's at really extremely low temperatures. The uses and applications of liquid carbon dioxide include decaffeinating coffee, extracting virgin olive oil from olive plants, in fire extinguishers, and as a coolant. Again, if you have to cool something to get it down to the point, if you have to cool carbon dioxide to an extremely low point to be able to create the liquid, what were you using as the coolant? If liquid carbon dioxide is the coolant. Liquid carbon dioxide is used in coolants. How do you get it to begin with if you need coolant to make it? So let's look up. This is the best. So now we look up dry ice, right? Solid form of carbon dioxide. I'm going to skip all this shit. History. It is generally accepted that dry ice was first observed in 1835 by French inventor Adrien Jean-Pierre Thiolier, whatever, 1790 to 1844, who published the first account of the substance. In his experiments, he noted that when opening the lid of a large cylinder containing liquid carbon dioxide, in 1835, he was opening a container of liquid carbon dioxide. Reconcile that. Make this shit make sense. Most of the liquid carbon dioxide quickly evaporated, like almost immediately. This left only solid dry ice in the container. Almost 100 years later, in 1924, Thomas B. Slate applied for a U.S. patent to sell dry ice commercially. Subsequently, he became the first to make dry ice successful as an industry. He just did it. Right? How did he have the facility to make it? Where was he getting this unlimited source of liquid carbon dioxide to be, you know, So again, how did he do that? In 1925, the solid form of CO2 was trademarked by the Dry Ice Corporation of America as dry ice, leading to its common name. The same year, dry ice companies. Okay, so manufacture. Listen to this. Listen to this. Yo, what's up, Karen? I thought the title of the video, I thought that was going to lead to a lot more than it actually did. Dry ice is easily manufactured. Okay, so let's think about this. The most common industrial method of manufacturing dry ice starts with having a gas having a high concentration of carbon dioxide. So, again, what in the 30s, 1830s, even in the 1920s, we'll even go, what system in the 1920s did they have in place to collect a whole bunch of gas and store it? Such gases can be the byproduct of another process, such as producing ammonia from nitrogen and natural gas, oil refinery activities, or large-scale fermentation. I get that gases are produced, but how did they collect them? How did they collect them and separate them in the 1920s? Although I'm even trying to be generous here. Fuck being generous. Tell me how they did it in the 1830s. Second, the carbon dioxide rich gas is pressurized and refrigerated until it liquefies. There we go again. In order to create liquid carbon dioxide, you have to pressurize it to higher than 75 pounds per square inch, and it has to be refrigerated to a temperature below freezing, you know, significantly below freezing. So in 1830s, when this motherfucker opened up a canister of liquid carbon dioxide, that means somebody during that time had a gas collection process by which they then refrigerated and pressurized this carbon dioxide to form the liquid that is then somehow shipped to him, sent to him. Where is the liquid carbon dioxide manufacturing company in 1830s? Who is it? Why are you fighting?
I'm really not. I'm actually happy.
Nick, stop being a jerk. What's going on?
I'm gonna be on the phone with Dave.
Okay, Nate, cool with that? What?
Quiet, Nick. I'm good.
Nick, if you're so happy about it, why do you keep making remarks?
Yeah.
Are you going downstairs? Can you finish this conversation? No, this conversation.
Yes, can I hit that?
Hang on, Mom's coming down. I'll be down in a minute anyway. How do we know it now? How to learn from some process just doesn't come out of thin air. Exactly. So where did it come from? That's what I'm trying to figure out, you dumb fucking friar. Cody Cohen, the dumbass friar piece of shit. Fucking chomo. Where did this process come from in 1830? I don't even care about the dry ice portion. I just want to know about the liquid carbon dioxide. What is the process by which 1830s Europe, world, is just producing liquid carbon dioxide at such a high rate that it can be... And what was the shipping network? And what was the container that held it? Again, to hold liquid carbon dioxide, I would imagine you would need a metal container that is specifically designed with an inner wall and an outer wall and a gas in between the two walls to maintain the temperature and pressure on the inside, which then you would also need some sort of regulation system to release. So that when you did open it or whatever, it didn't just explode. All that pressure. 75 pounds per square inch is an incredible amount of pressure. So where did it come from? And remember, if carbon dioxide gas rich is pressurized and refrigerated until it liquefies, and liquid carbon dioxide is the refrigerant, how did they get the liquid carbon dioxide in the first place? It doesn't exist. Widespread hate when I never said anything bad about you. I'm not a friar. I'm trying to get out of heaven because of your errand towards the friar. I'm a horrible person now. Yeah, we have no idea how you got identified as a friar. Gee, it wouldn't be your own words. And then you saying your last name wouldn't be anything like that, would it? No. It wouldn't be you constantly defending pedophilia. No, it has nothing to do with that. It wouldn't be the fact that you're here in the first place and not in a form of support. And you've been obsessed with me for a very long time, coming day after day for hours at a time, talking shit to the guy who thinks we should kill pedos and overthrow the friars. Gee, I wonder. Next, the pressure is reduced. When this occurs, some liquid carbon dioxide vaporizes, causing a rapid lowering of temperature of the remaining liquid. As a result, the extreme cold causes the liquid to solidify into a snow-like consistency. Finally, the snow-like solid carbon dioxide is compressed into small pellets or larger blocks of dry ice. And then it has to be stored, right? It has to be stored in some sort of refrigerated capacity. An extremely refrigerated capacity, right? So ask yourself, how does this work? How does all this work? Use that same mentality on my feet with the comment section. Again, ask yourself, why come somebody would come through here religiously to talk shit to the guy who thinks we should kill pedos and overthrow the Friar control system? Who fits that build? Who fits that narrative? Is that something just regular people do? Man, I sure do hate pedos. Out of all the people in all of the fucking world that I could focus on YouTube or any other platform, I'm going to find the guy that talks about pedos and try to talk shit to him while essentially making myself look really, really stupid. It's a weird thing, man. It's definitely a weird thing that people do. But as always, this is a learning experience. Tell me you've seen this before. Tell me you've seen another feed where somebody has so many fans that they hate him so much. They hate him so much they come to his feed every fucking day. And if you do find those people, what content are they putting out? Are they putting out we should kill pedos and overthrow the friars content? Or are they like eating stupid shit? Interesting how it works. And here we are off in a completely different direction. But it's also important because it shows you when you're questioning all the Israel stuff and the Friar stuff, and I'm telling you that it's all fucking lies. They're lying to you about all this important shit. Maybe if you realize that they're lying to you about the unimportant shit as well, you'll be more likely to question the important shit. I mean, this is some wild shit. And this is some wild shit. And when you allow yourself, you put down their programming that chastises you and punishes you for asking questions or thinking for yourself. And you just look at it for what they present. You never see me telling you to go look at conspiracy page this. Go search Alex Jones that. Never. The only thing I ever really do is look up what they want us to know. And tomorrow maybe we'll talk about Zionism because it's such an important topic. But again, the sole purpose in talking about Zionism is to make you realize that it's not real. It's just a boogeyman. It's just some bullshit for you to focus on instead of focusing on the real problem. What a better way to do it, right? Zionism is literally them. But instead of people talking shit about them, they talk about this other thing that is them. It's them. And to the point where if you talk about Zionism, they get mad at you for it. If you hate Jews, then you know it says Zionist. If you hate Jews, then you know it says Zionist. This is one of the biggest pieces of shit of all time. I think it's going to be hidden from me. Let's see. He's such an awful human being. I would give so much to be able to debate him. I would give anything to be able to have that debate and just crush this piece of shit. Especially if he tried to get all tough with me. It's funny, I can't find the video of him singing. So he's in Israel, and he's on the balcony, and he's singing, "If you hate Jews, then you know it, say Zionist. If you hate Jews, then you know it, say Zionist. If you hate Jews, then you know it, but you're too afraid to show it. If you hate Jews, then you know it, say Zionist." And then he laughs all wicked and turns the phone and shows like that he's in Israel and it's beautiful and there's nothing going on for him. What's up, Marbles? He's such a horrible, horrible human being. I don't have any quorums with saying I wish he would die. I wish he would die. I wish Trump would die. I wish Netanyahu would die. I wish they would all fucking die. I hate these people. You know, they are just awful, awful people. You know, I hope fucking Dershowitz dies, and you know, if they were killed by somebody, I wouldn't shed a fucking tear. You know, I'm never going to do anything like that because that's not my personality. I don't even like watching people, you know, fail videos where somebody fails on a skateboard and smashes their head or some shit. I hate that shit. Thoughts on Nick Fuentes, Fed, right? What have I been saying to you this whole fucking time, man? World stage actors are so corny and cringy. Seriously. Have you been here for a while now? Have you not seen me talk about Nick Fuentes repeatedly on my feed? Asking you guys, dude, Nick Fuentes burst on the scene when he went to dinner at the White House to hang out with Trump and Kanye West. This average Goyim, nobody, who ends up being the guy who talks about the Jews and blah, blah. Like, it couldn't be more obvious who Nick Fuentes is until he's put in the spotlight. He has the world stage. He's being interviewed on national TV, on the news. And they say, do you think Israel had to do with Charlie Kirk? And he says, at this point, I'm pretty sure it's time. I think Tyler Robinson did it. He has the platform, the opportunity that someone like me would just, I would give so much to have that opportunity. So much. To be on any sort of television show, any sort of anything, and ask if I think the friars are the bad guys. I would not hold back. And being a proud halfie, what the fuck could they say? What could they do? They couldn't throw me as a white supremacist, even though they did that with Kanye. They lumped Kanye in with white supremacy. Zelensky being in power is over-the-top theater. For sure. It all is. Netanyahu being in power. Netanyahu should have been arrested and thrown in criminal courts and killed a long time ago. For his crimes against humanity, for his war crimes, he should have been killed a long time. Tried and killed. Found guilty and killed. He's been a fugitive. He's been a wanted man from the ICC courts. He's had arrest warrants issued, indicted for a very long time. He's been under indictment for a very long time. And in so, he's been allowed to travel to and from the United States without being arrested. Bezalel Smotrich and Itmar Ben-Gvir especially, these are literal war criminals. Ben-Gvir had served time in prison for his incitement of violence that killed a bunch of Arabs. He basically bragged a week before, I believe, the doofus prime minister that got shot, that was killed and fucking at a rally. The one that the Israeli prime minister that actually shook the hands of Yasser Arafat, and they were working on peace deals and all that shit. And because he was doing that, Ben-Gvir, an open, vocal critic, was a week beforehand was seen holding the hood ornament from his Cadillac and saying, if we got to his car, we can get to him. A week later, at a rally, somebody walks up from behind him and shoots him dead right then. And the people actually overwhelmingly blame Netanyahu. Obviously, Netanyahu didn't do it, but he orchestrated it. Shimon Peres, is it Shimon Peres that was killed? I don't know. He didn't get any call, dude. The reason we know about Nick Fuentes in the first place is the same reason we know about Charlie Kirk. You look at Charlie Kirk's donor list, and it reads like a bar mitzvah registry, man. A bar mitzvah sign-in registry. For the highest ranking, the highest level friars in the community. We wouldn't know about Charlie Kirk. We wouldn't know about Nick Fuentes, about Dan Blazarian, about Stu Peters, about Alex Jones. We wouldn't know about those people if they didn't want us to. If they were really, really threats and outside of the scope, once they started getting big enough, they would have been taken out. They would have accidentally shot themselves in the head twice, and their families, and all that bullshit. All that same bullshit we always hear. The same fucking story over and over again. Those 100+ holistic doctors that came out against the medicine, against the medical community, and then they were all pop, 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 pop. I don't think you need to know me or to actually know me to know I would never do anything stupid like that. I don't have a violent side. And I love life way too much. Even though it sucks and there are hard times and all that shit, it's so much better than the alternative. So if something were to ever happen along those lines with me, my car stalled out on the train tracks with me and my family in it. These aren't things that would ever happen. So I know I'd be forgotten in a week, but you'd know. No, Fuentes is a piece of shit through and through. He's an incel. Involuntary celibate weirdo. Why would think about it? In what other context do you take your advice from a virgin? Other than, your highest ranking religious identities. I never understood that. No wonder the divorce rate is so high. You have so many people turning to a virgin to get marital advice. To get life advice. Hey, clergyman who lives at the church and has all of his needs met and who's never supposedly had sex. Well, with a woman for sure, but why don't you tell me how to live my life out in the real world? I'm sure you have a good grasp on things. You not understand how insane this all is? Anyway, fuck it. I'm done. You want more? Go look at the fucking description. I give you so many receipts. Along with free entertainment, I give you music. I give you videos I give you Everything I can possibly give you. It's all free. All I ever ask is that you share it with someone. If you feel like donating, by all means, donate. Go check the shit out. The link is the top link in the description, www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com, is the link to the music, and it's free. Please. Music is such a powerful weapon and completely underutilized by the community because they control it. And they control it because they know how powerful it is. You know, it doesn't matter which language you speak. You could look up the words to the song, and if the song says what you want it to say and it sounds good, you can get behind it. And we can have a universal voice, all saying the same things, all pushing for the same things. Instead, they have us nodding our head, yup, yeah, literally saying it, yeah, Niggas, niggas, hoes, bitches, niggas, kill, bitches, bitches, niggas, kill, bitches, drugs, niggas, but drugs. Nodding your head yes to the worst things imaginable. Hey, look, we have the proud pedophile here. I told you they were here. It's so disgusting. I just want to choke that person with my bare hands. The arrogance of the in their pedophilia. Anybody wondering the Mackenzie profile? This is a friar pedophile who's proud of it. That's why he types in proud. He is proud to fucking destroy children, to rape children, to deal in child exploitation materials and sell them and trade them. That's who this fucking piece of shit is. That's why he types on here proud. Because I know what it means. Those who have been here for a while, they know what it means. What a fucking piece of shit. I just wish I could spit in his fucking face, hit him in his big fucking nose, and then break it. Oh, I hate these fucking people so much. Again, I don't have any qualms with saying I wish they would die. You're a fucking proud child rapist. I wish you nothing but torturous, inhumane death because you are the worst. Of all the things you could do, fucking with children is the worst. And to sit here and be like, look, I'm proud. I'm proud to be a fucking child raper. What a piece of shit. And at the same time, it's almost like the culmination of everything, right? After all these years of me telling you, I have been targeted by friar pedophiles. Terrified of me specifically getting a voice because they know they know they'll die. They know they'll be found and killed. And they've denied it or oh, that's not it. We just don't like you. Blah blah. All the different fake profiles and shit that they've used to all that. And now they're so dumb that or even just they don't care. They come on here and acknowledge it. I've been right this whole time. And apparently now they're so untouchable that they're proud of it. Again, you notice how there's no denial coming my way. This person is a child rapist. They need to be found and they need to be killed. So if anybody's good at figuring out who IP addresses are and all that shit, please out this piece of shit and let's get it. Let's get them dealt with. I'm sure they're in Israel, so we couldn't get to them anyway. They claim they're in California, but lots of scammers claim to be in California. It explains why they're always here. And it's not just one person. This is a group. This is an entire identity. And, just in case you guys were questioning my motivations and all that shit, I told you guys an hour ago this person was here. They were watching from the background. And just at the last minute, they're going to jump in and be like, hey, look, he's right about everything he says. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know, I have a feeling it's connected to Brian Wallace. So if anybody wants to find out, you know, where Brian Wallace is, or James Napier, the pedophile, James Napier goes by Bitch Beard. Well, he goes by Rainbow Beard or whatever it is. But this is a piece of shit that dyes his beard all kinds of rainbow colors so little kids will come play with him. Some one-armed pedo who is, I think, somebody who makes the bodies disappear and turns them into jerky and then sells it back to us because that's what they like to do. I know that sounds crazy and far-fetched, but with as many people that just disappear every year, over 1 million people just disappearing every year, not just dying, disappearing, they have to go somewhere. And if you can find it, look up the Rabbi Finkelstein interview. He tells you, we feed it back to you. What do you think McDonald's is? We feed it back to you. After we drain their blood for the rituals, we crush the bodies up and feed it back to you in McDonald's. That's what he said. There's never been a sufficient debunk. But yeah, go check out the website. Go watch Hollywoodism. Hollywoodism explains why you're presented what you're presented and why your history books say what they say and all that shit. The next link is the Israel Hayom Bottom of Darkness article, which explains how you can have an entire population of monsters, genocidal, compassionless monsters who are so entitled that they think, you know, they should be allowed to rape children and it'd be okay. The Israel Hayom article will consistently kick you off and try to send you to a different article about how Israel destroyed Assad's Syrian navy. Just have some patience, some diligence, and read it. Read it. It is so important that you read it. There are links to the Team Jorge page, which shows you how they manipulate social media, along with act.il, which is how not only do they manipulate the Team Jorge is the bot side of things. Act.il is the game show side of things, where they use actual friars and offer them prizes. If you can get this many, responses, if you can get the person to do this or you get that or whatever. I don't know the fucking rules. I don't know how it works. But they unlock badges or prizes somehow. And it's there. It's all there for you to see it, for you to learn it, for you to know it. There's no hidden secrets. There's no conspiracy theory. I'm giving you their information. A lot of that is Wikipedia pages. And to prove that Wikipedia is legit, I give you the YouTube video of Naftali Bennett, future prime minister at the time, bragging about how they control Wikipedia and ensure that everything we see is balanced and Zionist in nature. It's all there. It's a well-crafted presentation, top to bottom. Just follow the links. Read each link over and over. You got to watch the video first. Well, first you get your download, of course, so that while you're reading stuff and while you're not watching the video, you can have the music playing in the background, obviously. But once you're done watching Hollywoodism and you have the base, then you apply all those extra ingredients, Israel Hayom and Team Jorge and the Havara Agreement and all of these things, and you're going to find a pretty obvious stew you got going on there. And we need a final solution to it. So, and then there's also links to some of the music videos on Facebook at the bottom, so go check those out. Again, all weapons that we can use to fight this system. I just need your help. I'll provide you all the ammunition I can. I just need your help with it. So have yourself a great day. And most importantly, you Mackenzie, Fryer piece of shit pedos, kill yourself.